It's 5 o'clock, everybody, at least Central Standard Time. It's time for Wednesday Wine with Ana Belaval. Welcome. I'm broadcasting live from my beautiful, humble abode in Chicago, Illinois, in the heart of the Midwest. Listen, this Wednesday Wine could not come any sooner. If you live in Chicago, you know that this has been one of the longest weeks of our lives. As a city, as proud Chicagoans, Monday was one of the saddest and also strangest days because we started with overnight looting and ended with a tornado in the city that hadn't happened since 1976 or something like that. Chicagoans, if you are joining me, I send you a virtual hug. If you are joining me any other part of Illinois, I see that Matt is joining us from Bolingbrook. I send you also a virtual hug because we all had awful weather and we've been dealing with this pandemic and this song and dance about we're going to go into phase 4, but not really. Your kids are going to go to school, but not really. And it's been a rough month. But it's Wednesday Wine. And as you know, I started this Wednesday Wine so that we could kind of have a moment on hump day to take a deep breath and take a nice sip of wine. This is my rosé today. And this rosé is from my friends at Bottles and Cans. These guys are in Lincoln Square. And this is the secret. If you give me free wine and you give me 3 bottles, I will drink it for the next 3 weeks because, it's free. So I love these guys. And these guys were helping with a fundraiser for the Chamber of Commerce in Lincoln Square. And so this rosé is called Pratch. And it's from Austria. Look how pretty the bottle is, nice and skinny. Listen, it's been a hard week, right? Chicagoans and Illinoisans. Let's say hi to Kay from Coal City and Carmen from Oak Lawn, Illinois. Brenda is still without power, muchacha. Oh my God, you're still without power, Brenda. Oh my goodness, because that's the other thing. A lot of areas lost power. And what happened is that our company, ComEd, it was such massive power outages that they said that some people won't have power until August 15th, which is Saturday. So, Barbara, I've got a virtual hookup with a friend at 6, so I'm saving my liquor until then, but I do enjoy these, Ana. Yes, Monday was horrible, and the streets are still blocked everywhere. It took me 3 times as long to get anywhere today. So many trees down, absolutely everywhere. I live in the city, and we have streets blocked everywhere. Oh my goodness, Carrie is sending her last child to ISU tomorrow, driving him or her. Hija mía, you have to drink. Here's to you, Carrie. Cheers. It's going to be an empty nester. Enjoy it. Listen, I have 2 wonderful little kids here. And some days I look forward to driving them to college. And then when my daughter says, when I go to college, I get like a lump in my throat. Like for as much as I joke around about them, the fact that they're going to leave me and I'm not going to know where they're going to be. And I can't I'm a Latina mom, and the fact that I can't put like an ankle monitor on them, but I have Find My Phone, and they're going to have that Find My Phone for a very long time. What's with all the books? We're educated people here. These are all the books that I love. The Taste of Sugar there from Maricel Vera is there. El Tiempo Entre Costuras. Photo books, because my husband loves photo books. The City of Falling Angels, and albums. Remember those picture albums? I grew up in the mid-'80s, so I have albums. And my mother sent me my childhood albums because, believe it or not, my mom had 2 kids. And according to her, she told me this 20 years ago, she had 9 albums per child. And she got tired of it. So she reduced both our lives from age 0 to 21 to 2 albums per kids and gave them to us. Ella es así, bien especial. She didn't need the clutter in her house. So there you go. Salud, Luis. My favorite bottle of wine are the free ones. No, I'm kidding. Anything that my friends choose for me, I love because I don't know a lot about wine. So I really enjoyed these ones that my friends from Bottles and Cans have picked for me. So let's see. I just got a record player for Christmas 2 years ago, and now I have albums, and I'm shopping for albums. That's so exciting. As you saw during the pandemic, my husband has an album collection because he's older than me. Um, no offense. You can tell that he's not here. So yeah. So I have to say, I was really looking forward to this Wednesday wine because during these uncertain times, which is such a cliche, but they really are uncertain, I have found a few ways for self-care. And I find that the biggest Americanada ever. And you've heard my comadres talk about Americanadas. My mom was the one who coined that phrase. An Americanada is something that when you are raised in the US, but you are raised in another culture, those are the things that Americanos do that you adopt, right? So I don't know. Wear comfortable shoes with a cute outfit. Eat mac and cheese. I don't know. Maybe you can understand the concept better than me, and you can tell me what is your Americanada. If your parents were Latino or any other culture, but you were raised here, what are those Americanadas, right? And I've been in the States full time on the mainland for 24 years, and so sometimes my girlfriends say that I dress like an Americana just because I bought my clothes at J. Crew, and they are not tight and colorful. So that's an Americanada. Self-help, self-care. My therapist tells me I need time for self-care. My friends say this is for us, self-care. But it's very hard for me as a mom of two, working full-time, wife, daughter, sister, cousin, to take that time and not feel guilty and not feel like it's a waste of time. So a few years ago, I rekindled my love affair with dance. I've been dancing since I was 8 years old, and it is my favorite thing to do. I danced ballet, jazz, Spanish dances as a kid. And then everybody else at 18, I stopped. And for many years, I couldn't find, when I lived in New York, I danced at Broadway Dance Center for a little bit just because I wanted to take dance lessons. And Zumba wouldn't cut it for me. I mean, I love my Zumba classes, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. And I also didn't want to do a dance class where every song I was doing the same dance over and over. I wanted to dance like I dance when I'm alone. Tú sabes, I would make my own choreography, my jazz hands, and every song that I would put on, and I would dance with my friend Sandra. We would do our choreography, song over, and then we move on. And I couldn't find that. See, self-care is the best. There you go. There you go. Movement is therapeutic. Yes, you're preaching to the choir now. So here's the thing. Finally, thanks to Around Town, which I do on WGM Morning News every day, 11 years ago, I found Mazi Dance Fitness. And Mazi Dance Fitness was exactly what I was looking for. These sisters who were dancers like me, even better because they were professional dancers, wanted to open a dance fitness studio, and they have been my salvation through the darkest moments. I did the story. I had another child, and after Alex was born, I went back to them, specifically when my niece Mariana was living here after Hurricane Maria, and Puerto Rico was a mess, and my family was in disarray, and I was helping my brother and sister out by having the teenager live with us. I needed an outlet, and I needed to be by myself. And let me tell you, Mazi and the women at Mazi and the support that I found there, that doesn't mean that I party with them all the time and we go do our hair and our nails. No, it's those 50 minutes that I need to be with that crew where I feel like myself, and I notice how good exercise is for my mental sanity. And that's why I wanted Ziba Lennox, who is half of Mazi, she's the Z in Mazi, to join me today, because I also have to thank them for helping me through quarantine. Hi, my friend.
Hi. You're like making me cry. Cheers. Cheers to that wonderful introduction.
You know what I love about you too? That during quarantine, I did one of your on-demand workouts, and I texted you, is it wrong that I finished the workout and then I had a glass of wine?
I was like, oh, isn't that the day that I had run out of wine? And you were like, I can help you. I can go and no.
She was like, do it. Ziba, how are you? I know you just finished a class. Like, you're like the Energizer Bunny.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I just finished my Ballerina Bum Bootcamp class, which I don't think you've been in that class, but it's all about strength conditioning and making your muscles really strong so that you can dance really hard and not get injured and just have that stamina.
I took it with your sister and it almost killed me. Because
And then she
you
does it
ladies,
with like her sweet voice, right?
no, okay, you ladies think that I'm a young whippersnapper, but I'm not. And then Marisol is like, do that class. I want you to do that class.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I am going to die here.
I know. I know. She's tough.
You are both tough. But how did this concept come about to start a dance fitness studio? And and how did you put it together? How did you come up? I know you don't want to talk too much about the business, but I know that you and I have in common that dance is kind of like the only workout we really love to do.
Oh my gosh, seriously. And it's always so hard when I'm like on vacation or something and I have to when I used to go on vacation and then you're like missing your classes and stuff because I really can't go for a run. I can't self-motivate and it's like dancing is really the only way that I can work out. And I think I just like realized why that is. It's because you have to be both really present and listen to the music and just be there. It's like a natural, you know how in yoga you just sit there and you're really, your intention is to be present. You're going, I'm present, I'm present, I'm present. You don't have to do that with dance. You just have to be, right? And at first, like when you first take the class that you take, the dance class, Mazi cardio, it's like a puzzle. So like you're figuring stuff out, you're figuring out the steps, but then once it clicks, then you're present, but like you're kind of working through your emotions and you're actually it's like a lot like therapy. So like I feel like that's why we crave it because you work out your feelings, you work out all the kinks in there, you're sweating and you're present. So it's a very powerful combination. And I think that's what my sister and I really missed from dancing. Back to your original question, is like once we stopped dancing and we were kind of in the corporate world and stuff, we would go to the gym or we'd go for runs around the lake. We used to live in Minneapolis, and we both were like, we miss dancing, and couldn't find it. So we were like hopping to ballet classes around town, and we were doing everything. And then we started to just dance on our own, like in our gym, and just like create our own movements and our own methods and our own dances. And we're like, we have to do something. And this is like 2009. This is before this boutique fitness was a thing. I mean, literally there was gyms and yoga studios. So we thought we were crazy. We thought nobody would come to like just a boutique studio,
Right. Did you have to educate yourself? Because I know as dancers, you guys know the body a certain way, but you couldn't just do Z cardio. You couldn't just do, ballerina fighter, or you couldn't just do dance classes. And did you do that kind of research?
Yeah. So ballet is like set us up really well because in ballet, you're also doing a lot of fitness to cross train to keep yourself strong. So I mean, I've been doing Pilates since 91. Okay, that's how old I am. And so I had a lot of that, and so did my sister, just like that physiological work. And then we did get Pilates certified and got personal trainer certified, just did these certifications. But along with that, really ballet is almost like the best teacher because you know your body so well, and there's like a lot of the things. However, the dance cardio, I think that was an evolution. When we first started out, our dance cardio classes were a lot like based out of Zumba, right? But eventually we evolved to just make it our own and to put in like to make them a little crazier, a little harder, a little bit more fun. Just pick our music, not the music that Zumba was giving us. So
the music is current.
Yeah.
And what's great is that you get input from your dancers to be like, hey, I just heard this song. Can you just do this choreography? I know that I always say that you have to have some kind of knowledge of dance, but that's me. I see people dancing with me that I know have never danced, and they're like, screw it. I'll come every week and I'll just enjoy myself.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of our community, and that keeps going even now that we're online and not so much at the studio, is that you really can not have a dance background and learn. It's like a language. You learn the language, and if you allow yourself that learning curve and be kind with yourself to allow yourself to ramp up to get there, you will get there because it's like a language.
You have seen me my friends on social media, you have seen me dance the crazy dances in my house with no one paying attention, dancing like no one cares because they don't. Those are the dances that I'm doing, and I'm doing them on demand because we can't go to the studio, or we couldn't. Some people chose to go back. They have to dance masked. But there is still programming on Mazi Fitness on demand. And you have a little price for people who are watching us?
Yeah, that's right. We, my sister and I wanted to offer a free month with the code Wednesday Whine, the way that you spell it. So
With the
try our on-demand class for free. And it's, I think we have a large library of classes, so you can try out the strength classes that I was talking about that I just taught, Ballerina Fight Club, and also the Mazi cardio classes, which is the dance class that you really love.
Yes, it's Z cardio, and then there was Mazi dance too, or did you take that away?
No, it's just Mazi cardio.
It's just a Mazi cardio. Okay,
Yeah.
so the code is going to be, I'm going to write it here so people can see it, Wednesday Whine. See, that's how Latin people who speak Spanish, that's how we spell
it'll
Wednesday.
Be live in about an hour. So if you
in an hour.
Yeah, so just give me an hour.
And where do they go to?
They go to the Mazi on demand. So they go to mazidancefitness.com, and then you'll see on one side of the homepage the on demand. So there's like the studio classes that you can sign up for, and there's the on demand. And on demand is really nice if you're exploring our method because there, I think that you would agree with that. Like the live classes, they're great. Like once you kind of know what you're doing a little bit more, I would say. However, if you want to try our classes, just email us at mazidancefitness@gmail.com, and I'll hook you up with a free live class. So if you just are ready to start with our live classes, then just let me know.
Listen to that. There you go. And those are their Instagram account for Mazi Dance Fitness and Ziba Lennox. Okay, so that's great. Dance is awesome. Everyone can do it. But what I admire the most about you, and I didn't find this out, like you don't brag about this because you're not a bragger, but you were in the corporate world and with some major big box stores. You have an MBA. That's where you met your husband, and you were going to be this kick butt woman, corporate, America woman. And then you decide to open a dance studio, not in Minneapolis where you live, not in El Paso, Texas, where you're from. You nerds did research on where to open this. And I call you nerds with all the love of my life because I wouldn't never. I mean, you guys are so smart. Tell me about that process.
And I think you're giving us too much credit. Honestly, thank you. So yeah, I mean, this is what's ironic about life. Like I always swore I would not, two things, that I would not teach dance and that I would not have my own business. Okay. That was like my mantra. I will, yeah, like, because once I was done with dance, I felt like I was kind of done with dance. Of course, I didn't expect to miss it as much as I did. Then also I didn't want like the headaches of owning my own business, to be honest with you. I wanted to get a paycheck, like to go to work and get a paycheck. But yeah, my sister and I, like, as I was telling you, like we were figuring out how much we missed dance, and we started to come up with this thing. And she at the time lived in Houston and I lived in Minneapolis, and it wasn't strategic actually. It literally was just, I gave her three options. I said, do you want to move to Boston, Denver, or Chicago? And why
those three?
Denver, because my husband loves to ski. Boston, because I don't know why. I don't know what we were thinking. And then Chicago, because it's the Midwest, and like it was a big city. I wanted like my big city fix. Okay. And she was also she's a civil engineer, so she really loves like all the architecture and all that stuff. So she was like, absolutely, let's move to Chicago. I love Chicago. I've been there before. Like, let's do it. So we didn't live there. I came here to try to find a spot to see if I could lease the spot. This is 2009, the last huge recession. So, sorry, go away.
Is that Nick?
Yeah, come on.
Nick got nothing when it came to skiing.
I've heard so much about you.
Oh, let me see
you. I just wanted to say hello.
Hi, dear.
You're kind to my wife and Mazi and all that stuff. And
oh my gosh,
I love watching your content, and
he was your first fan before I was a fan. So
I heard his friends like me a lot. So here's to you and your friends.
Yeah. You've got a huge fan club over here.
I have to say, Nick and your sister Marisol's husband are so supportive, so crazy supportive, because you moved over here. Marisol wasn't married yet, but you were married, and that guy followed you.
I know he did. I don't tell him. Hey, go away.
We've been supportive of each other. You know, we both became entrepreneurs, and so far it's worked out all right. And you know, it's kind of on to the next chapter. But
I know.
Certainly, congratulations on all your success. It's very
Thank you, dear. It's going to be a great chapter. We'll meet in person one day, nena. Que
we
guapo,
will. No doubt.
Guapísimo.
Yeah.
Es lo más guapo.
Eduardo Capetillo.
Se parece Eduardo Capetillo.
Eduardo Capetillo.
Take care.
Okay, so now you guys know that Ziba is Mexican.
Yeah.
Right? Because we come in all colors, sizes, and flavors, and speaks fluent Spanish. Mm-hmm. And so every time we want to talk about our husbands because they don't speak Spanish, this is what I do.
Hablamos español, Anita y yo.
Hablamos español, y entonces Nick no se entera que yo le ando chuleando el marido a la otra. He's adorable. See? Shannon is saying Nick is adorable.
It sounded good. All right, take care. Nice to meet you.
Bye. That's how así los enamoramos. It sounded good.
Aww.
No se entera. ¿Sí ves? He's so handsome. Mira, Debbie, te estamos chuleando el marido. Aww. Anyway, so you move here exactly when the recession happens.
Yeah. And so like we hadn't moved here. So my sister sent me to find a spot, and I'm looking all weekend long. I can't find a spot. And I finally, Wicker Park, that was the last spot on my list, and I almost didn't go because I was so frustrated. I was like, maybe this is dumb. And I saw the studio, and I just knew in my heart, I'm like, I'm going to be here, you know? And luckily, the landlord took a chance on us. We had no business plan. We had no business credit. We had, it was just like these two sisters from nowhere, these two Latina sisters from, and he was like, sure, like, let's do a year lease, see if it works out. And like 11 years later, like, we're still there. I mean, it's been a very hard year since COVID, but we're hanging on there. We're hanging on. So
what would you recommend to women or people who want to start their own business? A lot of people are taking these leaps of faith now because of what's going on. They go, I'm going to start from zero. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to follow my passion. What do you recommend?
Well, I think that it's a great time to take a chance like this because, in these kinds of times, it's when opportunities arise. And I would say number one is to develop a support system because being an entrepreneur is really, really difficult, not only financially at first, but like also emotionally and mentally because there's really no time off. Even like when people see my Instagram and they think that I'm on vacation, I work 24/7 and I have been working 24/7 since 11 years ago. Like, I'm not even kidding.
God.
And so, and my sister can attest to this. Like, we work 7 days a week. I mean, I'm not saying Sundays I'm at my desk, but like, it's like it's being an entrepreneur. And of course, like, so developing those support systems is really important. I think that also just a lot of podcasts right now are really helpful. Like, one that I really love is called Gold Digger. She's Gold Digger, and I would recommend anybody starting a business just to listen to her. She's like a little annoying to listen to be honest with you, but she knows what she's talking about. And I will listen to her like when I'm cleaning the house and stuff. And so just like little things like how to set up your website or like how to start an email list or a business plan, all those things. I mean, I was lucky that I had an MBA and I had a rough notion of P&Ls and that kind of stuff. And I had worked in marketing for Best Buy. So like I knew enough to get by. But like, if you don't have that, but you have a great idea, then just, asking questions, trying to find podcasts, like just, do the work. Like I saw a great quote the other day that like, there's no substitutes for doing the work. Like you have to do the work, there's like no shortcuts.
So. You make it sound so hard. What is rewarding about it?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that everybody's objective is different. Some people's objective is only to like make money, which is fine. I think that only carries you so far because there has to be so much passion behind what you're doing that you'll burn out quicker if that's your only motivation. Like you have to come up with an idea or a service that you truly think is going to change something or that you truly believe in, because the work that you have to put in is unlike, it's a lot like motherhood for all of us moms, like that unconditional kind of like waking up in the middle of the night and doing stuff you don't want to do. That's what having a business is like. And what drives me in the rewarding part, and something that my sister and I didn't see coming, is that I truly have seen how some people's lives have changed by coming to Mazi Dance Fitness. I mean, it, like just getting healthier, you know, especially, or now even not going to the studio, but still being able to dance online when it's more important than ever to stay healthy mentally and physically, because when you exercise, your immunity goes up, and, you know, keeping your body strong, we're moving like 80% less than ever before, you know, so it's like, I see us making a difference. So it helps us, you know, stay focused even during the hard times. Cause right now it's by far the most difficult time we've ever had.
You've ever had. Guys, if you have any questions for Ziba about fitness, about starting your own business, about being an influencer, because if you go to her Instagram, she has like over 100,000 followers. How did that happen?
Oh my gosh, Anna. So I'm a little type A. I'm sure you can relate.
No, really?
I'm a little type A, and I've always loved fashion. I think it's like part of like my culture of like dressing up, putting a ton of makeup on. Like I just enjoy it. I enjoy that outlet, and I wanted to do it for a long time, but I was always really afraid about what people would think. You know, like what are they gonna like? They're gonna say, who does she think she is? And finally, I got old enough where I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Like what people think. It's what I want to do. I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about getting dressed up and feeling good about myself and feeling confident and sharing like some anti-aging tips. Like I think I'm a sharer, so I like to talk about like what it is that I found out. And so it was like a natural kind of thing for me to start a blog and that kind of stuff. And then I went really full speed ahead, even though I just wanted it to be like a hobby, like a distraction from Mazi. Yeah. And it ended up turning into a whole other business. So
it is, yeah, Mary goes, it is always about fashion. It is always about fashion. I think it's also, if you were a dancer and you were dressing in costumes all the time, you're fascinated by it too.
Yeah, I think too, like it feels good, especially when we can't go anywhere and we're stuck here. I'm in my PJs like half the time, and when I finally put on clothes and I put on my face, I'm like, okay, things are okay. I'm normal, you know, like it's okay.
Yeah, I know. I have to say that, you know, and people may not believe this, but I tackle just like you with that constant thought of who do you think you are? Constantly. Yeah. Before I post something on social media, before I accept a job, before I go on stage to do stand-up comedy. I think a lot of women call it the imposter syndrome, that idea that they're going to find you out. But I always love to say in Spanish, it's el síndrome de quién tú crees que tú eres, right? Because I always think, oh yeah, this is it. I'm going to do this challenge. I'm going to go up there and do 20 minutes of stand up and people are going to love it. And then there's this voice inside who's like, seriously, why?
Yeah.
Or, you know, you're going to post that picture and someone's going to be like, well, it must be nice to have a salary, you know, like that kind of thing. So I wrestle with that constantly. And I know that one of our common friends, Sanem D'Angelo, told me at the beginning of this, when someone criticized me on TV because I was always like complaining about the kids in front of the kids. Yeah. And I was telling the kids, like, why do we have to do a science experiment? And now I have to pick it up. And the lady wrote an email to the station saying that my children could feel my negativity and they were going to resent that. And Sanem heard it and Robin Baumgarten heard it. And I got a note from Robin, like, our children know who we are and you're doing a great job. And these people really don't know you. And Sanem said, you know who you are. And I have to remind myself of that daily. we know who we are just because
Yes.
we post these things on social media. And like she just did a post, guys, where she goes, I'm gonna go paint my eyebrows on now. Like that's how honest she will be, right?
And I did.
And I appreciate that. You look great. So for me, it's like no matter how honest you are, there is someone always that's gonna be a contrarian, but the worst one is your mind.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I think once you allow yourself to make mistakes, do the journey, and just have a place at the table, like that's half the problem is you, like as you just said. And all the other people that they're just noise. And I think right now, especially with COVID and with civil rights movements and all that thing, people are really angry. We've been cooped up. There's a lot of things that are happening, and there's just so much hate flying back and forth. And I think it's really important to just shut the noise out and just remember, like you said, like, who are you? How do I feel? How can I really make a difference? Not everybody is an activist. Not everybody, but you can support activists. You can be a champion for people that really know what they're talking about, but you can't go out there and know and be an expert in everything, like.
Oh my God, that was genius. That was genius. And I think I saw somebody who's also an influencer saying the same thing. Like it wouldn't be honest of me to talk here like I know what is going on, but I want you to listen to these people. I went the other day to a balloon company, and she's decided to put her balloon displays at hospitals for free. And she did these bunches for Black Lives Matters for free. So if you want to go to a protest, Luft Balloons gives you these balloons. And of course, we got phone calls for people who asked her if there were Life Matters, Police Lives Matters. And she said, I understand what you're saying, but this is the cost right now. And I want you to listen to these 3 podcasts. And she didn't try to give a lesson because she is a white lady from the north side of Chicago. Yeah. And she said, I'm going to have you listen to these 3 podcasts, and then you can make up your mind.
Yeah.
Education is so important.
No, it's true. And it's, especially if and it's always the people that are not putting themselves out there every day that, have the most to say about what you're saying. So
yeah. And dance. I think that stay true to yourself and move. Honestly, Ziba, I am like totally like Robin. I don't even run if I'm being chased. I'll just hide. I'll pretend I'm dead. I'll find no, a mí me duele el vaso, it hurts, whatever.
I know.
But dance was something, I didn't feel insecure dancing. I didn't have the imposter syndrome when I danced. And Lord knows that if you ask my dance friends, I would go one way and they would go the other, but esta cara would always save me. Because I always looked like I knew what I was doing. Like they would go all of the entire ensemble going right, and I was going left like, están todas mal. Here we go.
I know. I'm pretty sure sometimes in class when you were in my class, I would like end up following you. I'm like, what is she doing?
What is going on over there, Belaval? And so I think that it gives you the opportunity. You always start class saying, no one is watching. Do whatever the heck you want because we don't care. And you say it not like we don't care, screw you, twist your ankle. You say it like, be you. And you're younger than me, but I grew up in a generation where we were competing constantly with men. And sometimes women were our competition to get that spot, right? And we weren't always as supportive as the communities that you've created at Mazi and the community that we've created as journalists now and as women. And I think that before we saw each other as a threat. And when I got to Mazi and you guys celebrate absolutely everything everyone does outside of dance, it's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's just an extension of my sister and I's relationship. Like we've just always been so close. And then the people, like the people that teach our wonderful team that teaches at Mazi, they're all kind of cut from the same cloth. So it's like you kind of have we run through the same kind of Wi-Fi. Like we're just naturally just pro women, like just embrace the community. So it's like even if you don't come to my class and you've taken other people's classes, like we're all like that. And it's a very beautiful thing. And we feel very grateful.
I love this message from Mary. Oh, ladies, when you get to my age, you just tell them all to shove it and do what you want.
Seriously,
I think that age.
Especially the younger people, like, don't wait till you're like my age to like say what you need to say and like be confident. Like you said, nobody's watching. I think that's the other thing. Even when you're at the pool or at the beach and you're just like, don't want to take your cover up off and you're just like, how do I look? And it's like, you know what? Everybody's too worried about their own body to like be looking at you and being, oh my gosh, what is she thinking over there?
Mm-hmm. I love this. This is from one of our favorite dancers, Abby. It's true. Mazi's like church. Everyone there is to be the best version of themselves and celebrate one another. It's true. And she's danced through all her pregnancies, hasn't she? Because Abby, muzzle tough on the baby. And then over here, Carmen, the older you get, the less you worry about what people think of you. It's all about finding our individual happiness.
True.
It's true.
It's the gift of growing older. And Abby, like you said, she danced through all her pregnancies. And when I was pregnant with Henrik, her and I were bump buddies, and we'd show up with our huge bellies to class, and we were like, okay, like time to dance, baby,
And another thing that I like is that if you don't make it, these guys are not like, where were you? Like, they understand that life happens.
Yeah, we do.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So if you want to check them out, it's mazidancefitness.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with the code Wednesday Whine, you can get 1 month free of On Demand, which is fantastic because you can get all those kinks out, and when we finally go back, you'll know all the routines, and then they'll change them on you.
Right? And this is a good time. This is a great time to get stronger. Like, just, we're all like, I love those videos of you. They're so real. And I think they're a great example for all of us moms who like say, well, we don't have time to do it. And you're just like, your kids are on the couch and they're, you're just in there doing it. And like, there's really no excuse. Like, make it a priority because we have to stay healthy right now. It's like never been more important to be healthy.
Right here too. I noticed that yesterday, for 2 days, we didn't do Around Town because of breaking news. And I was home with the kids and I was watching the news constantly and I was taking care of the kids. And around 5, I had nothing else to do and my anxiety was building. And I told my husband, I'm going to the rooftop to do yoga. I grabbed my laptop. I looked it up on YouTube, yoga with Adrian, and just did 35 minutes of yoga. Like I said, reminding myself to be present. Saturdays, my kid has a soccer class at 12:30, but at 10 o'clock, I dance. And I never made it a priority like I've done it now because I realized that when we were stuck here within these 4 walls, I understood why I needed to move and get that. What is that chemical that we release? Dopamine?
Yeah, dopamine. And
I had to get that dopamine and the endorphins going, or I was gonna get depressed, and I go to therapy and I have those tools, but it took me up to 45 years to learn that.
For sure. I mean, I think that you get to work it out and then afterwards you're like, oh, I'm fine. Like my problems, I can work through my problems, and it's a lot different. You just have a different mindset to deal with the day. So
I love it. And I love that you were a part of this today, and thank you for welcoming with open arms to all your projects and to Mazi, and I wish you guys the best, and we will continue to dance our sorrows away.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank you, sweetheart. Go take care of those boys. They've been really quiet. Where are they?
They're not here. They're at my mom's house. So after I get done with this, I don't know what I'll do. I'll go crazy. I'm gonna let my hair down.
Let your hair down. Muchacha, turn on the music and relax. Enjoy. You deserve it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Anna.
Love you guys. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, honey. Bye. So there you have it. In a few minutes, they will do this on-demand thing for you. And here it is, a free month on demand. You with the code Wednesday Whine at Mazi Dance Fitness. Okay, So free month. I want to see some of your comments too. I'm a firm believer that all women need that me time. It really doesn't matter what you do. It's true, Migdalia, but it's a hard lesson to learn. And I'm so glad that I have found through my life people who remind me. My mom, who all the time tells me, siéntate, nena, por favor, you know, or my friends who pitch in, my cousin who has raised 3 children and because of experience and in hindsight understands how important it is to take care of ourselves. So it's wonderful to share people that I love, that are part of my circle, that are doing awesome things for the community and for everyone, because that's the beauty of the World Wide Web, that Mazi you can connect with this great community of women and dance your heart out to fitness and to mental health until, all over the world. So go ahead and check them out. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm going to put all the information about Mazi below, and tell us where you're watching from and who else you would love me to interview. I have a few more friends lined up, but we can try it out and see who has a great story that I can tell that sometimes I can't do on my day job. I love these conversations where we all learn. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great evening. Salud y los quiero. Un beso.